a poet with a visual mind that is set apart with her own sound as she infuses her electric persona in her hip-hop and soul music. Age with influential artists like Kendrick Lamar that speak on issues that are usually shunned by the general populace, but have other people that have longed for the freedom to express issues that affect their daily lives on a platform that the world can see. A songwriter with award-winning albums that gave us final form as an anthem that got Black queens jamming to it as they went about their daily lives while watching it on screens as it was used to symbolize our own excellence as a people. Wherever in the world she performs, she ensures that Zambia is shown as she shines.
Welcome, Sampa.
Thank you.
Okay, first I'd like to begin with a huge congratulations. You're the first ever BET Amplified Global Artist. That's a huge thing. That's a huge win for us as Zambians. I'm like, yes, yes. How does it feel? Like, what does this mean for you?
It means I get to show my home like in an international light and show us as people who are excellent and great as well. Because I know that's something that, you know, when you don't see a lot of Zambians in that light, you start to question, which I didn't want to do because I did as a young adult.
Yeah.
But it just showcases Zambia in an international light, and I'm so happy.
That's awesome. So how have your fans received this honor?
Everyone is quite shocked. Everyone was just like, oh no, this is beautiful, because we expected amazing things with the music, but everyone is just like, wow, this is beyond. Even I'm shocked. I'm like, this is beyond, you know, what I thought would happen with the music, because you just release it and you know, you hope people resonate with it, but we are all sort of like amazed.
Well, that's great. I just love how you're a strong Black voice, and this translates in your lyrics and your songs, and it just shows how woke you are as a Black person. So how then do you translate this in our current state of affairs? And we're seeing this on the news daily. Black people face racism. How do you translate that, you being an artist?
Well, you definitely you know, need to show that you are aware of what is happening around you, and let the youth know that it's okay for you to voice your opinions, because these things affect you as well. And I think that's one thing that we often fear, that our opinion isn't strong enough. You know, who are we to speak on certain issues and so on? But even if we're just talking about our country itself, we are the people who are creating the future for our country. And it's quite scary to be able to do that without any consequences. But you know, it's definitely a thing where you see people who are able to speak on what is happening around them. And it's just a way of encouraging people to do that.
So have you ever experienced any form of racism? And how have you dealt with it in the past, or maybe presently?
Presently, girl, have I? Yes, I have. I think especially when you're outside of a continent, outside of your country, you actually get a glimpse of how people view you as an African. And with that comes racism and prejudice and everything else. I'd say when I was younger, I'd probably ignore it, or, you know, just, you know, come during the situation and go home and cry. Now as an adult, it's like I understand that this situation does not involve me. This is a person's problem with my race, not me. It's not a problem with my race. And I think, you know, we have a tendency to put it upon ourselves and be like, oh no, you know, take it as something that is wrong with us. It has nothing to do with us. And as an adult, I'm aware of that. I'm aware that this person has a problem with me because of their own prejudice and their own upbringing and what they believe in, which has nothing to do with me and who I think I am and what I think about myself. And I think that grows with knowledge of self and with time. And it's easier to act less aggressive towards, you know, these instances of racism and be like, listen, that's your problem, and tackle it head on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can you take us through your creative process? As in, how you?
Oh Lord.
What is a day of Sampa the Great making music, and how do you get into it?
It varies. It varies. It varies. If we're talking about recently, obviously with the whole pandemic, there's a dip and a rise with creatives these days. But if it's something normally and I'm working with a producer or an artist, I usually send them my inspirations. Oh, I'm listening to this music, or I'm inspired by this, or I wrote a line and I see your voice in it, and it just starts with the communication end of it. And once we establish whether we're both feeling the music or we're in the same space in our lives, then we start working on how to express this musically. So it varies. There really isn't one sort of formula or blueprint. Yeah, I go in the studio and I do this, so do this first. It varies with. I had literally I get asked, how do you write music? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. It varies. It varies on the inspiration, and it varies on the time in my life, or the space I'm in, or the people I'm with. So there isn't one particular formula, but it's been known that when we express with my collaborators, then that's how we kind of bring out the music.
Okay, you've spoken about inspirations. What are some of these inspirations? Okay, maybe is it like water, or is it African culture?
Oh, true. I think life experiences. How we as Africans or Zambians are able to still be content with what we have, how we are able to be passionate, how we are able to love where we're from. It's different life experiences of someone who's gone through something and has come out strong on the other side.
Yeah.
Down to nature and how beautiful and vast it is. There's not one way, and I think that's how beautiful music is and how it continues onwards, because its inspirations are varied. So, yeah.
Then how do you unwind and just take a day off? Yes.
I turn off my phone. I turn my phone off.
That's
how
awesome.
I get to unwind. I have to. I mean, it's a beautiful way to communicate, but it gets to a point where it's like, hey, interviews. Oh, hey, I have a song. Oh, hey, this and that. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to take this time for myself. Because as beautiful as it is to work with people and, collaborate and move on to the next project, self-care is a huge thing that allows all of this to happen. And so I make sure that I value my self-care and value rest as much as I value work. It's just a good balance. And sometimes we're not afforded the privilege to rest. But when I do have that time, it's very important that,
that's good.
Everything is off.
Good to know. And how do you stay grounded? I mean, we're talking this industry with bright lights, get to meet new people every single day. How do you stay grounded?
I think it's the way I was raised. My parents, my dad, we were raised in Botswana and kind of raised between Zambia and Botswana. And, he'd do this beautiful thing where when we come home, he'll take us to the village. Or when we're in Botswana, he'll drop us this is crazy, at a taxi rank and be like, okay, find your way home. Okay, bye.
What?
And it's like things like that where it's like, you do know that there are people who have a different life experience than you, or you do know that this is not forever, or you do this, that, and the third. And to be able to be raised by parents like that really made us grounded in understanding what a blessing, life is. And so I don't think I would ever get to the point of big-headedness. And if I did, my parents would really
they'll remind
go
me.
ham on me, or my sisters would,
You have to go back.
because they will remind me. And my mom does a beautiful thing. She'll be like, I'll be like, Mom, oh my God, Lauren Hill did it. And she'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Have you taken out the things from the dustbin, or have you washed the, it's, okay, that's nice. But you have responsibility.
You have chores.
And that's kind of always kept it. You have some chores, and that's always kept it, it's kept me grounded.
So Black August gave us a beautiful experience. I saw it live on YouTube. and you did it right here in Zambia with an all Zambian crew. Can you take us through the
Yes.
experience behind the scenes of making that experience that you gave us?
To be honest, it came about out of the blue, the opportunity itself. Because I had come home and with this whole pandemic, it's really hard to travel. So I had kind of put everything on pause in terms of live performances. And I was reminded, oh yeah, we have this performance, but you're probably not gonna do it because you're in Zambia and you don't have a band, da, da, da. And I was like, oh, wait, this performance is pretty huge and we have amazing musicians in Zambia. I mean, I don't know, maybe we should try and reach out to someone and see if we can put something together. And it was very ambitious. Even my manager was like, you have a week and a half, so I don't know how you're gonna put this together. But for me, it was like, it's such an important cause, Black August, and it's on an international stage. And I've been doing these live performances in Australia, and I'm home. And what a privilege it would be to be able to do that and showcase how amazing musicians are here at home, because there's sort of this expectation of it's way better that side in the West, and it's just like sometimes you have to see the diamond in your own place. And I was like, okay, let me hit up the people I know. It's really ambitious, let's see if this can happen. And I hit up Mac 44 and he was like, okay, yeah, we can do this, we can make this work. And I was like, okay. And then he just put us in contact with some amazing musicians, Lazarus and Kasonde, and we kind of were like sending each other music, sending each other our live performances, and we managed to get it all done and perform it, and it was beautiful. We did it in front of Monsieur Tunya, showcased where we are, and it was beautiful. I'm glad that we were able to get it together. We also had the natives media shoot it, which made it beautiful as well. So I'm so glad we were able to show Zambia like that, and people now know that we can do it too.
No, it was a beautiful scenery, and I will go back to watch it again because there's some stuff. And what was it like for your fans outside?
Oh, it's even more beautiful for them to see where I grew up or where I'm from, and the people who I'm surrounded by, and where the inspiration of the music came from. So stuff like this is always like, oh, I get to know more about you and I get to see more of your story. So they were elated, like they were really excited.
Oh, that's pretty dope. Do you have any final words to your fans here in Zambia and all?
Here in Zambia, I am so happy to be able to collaborate and work with creators from home. I can't wait to, expand what we can make, explore what we can make, and, challenge all the boxes as we all do.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting time to make music, especially here at home. So I'm excited and I can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Greatness is what she embodies, and in actual sense is part of her name. Sampa the Great.